I got more fighter reactions to Dricus Du Plessis' submission victory over Israel Adesanya at UFC 305. Check out the latest edition of MMA Pros React.
Well, Dricus is a bull, dude. Like, I fought on a card just recently.
Was it the Robbie Lawler
Yeah,
card?
it was the Robbie Lawler fight, which was a horrible fight for me, but amazing performance for him. When I stood next to Dricus, I was like, holy goodness, you are a big man, dude. He's the same width, like, from the side as he is if he's facing you. His, like, chest, his arms, dude, is huge. I was like, dude, you look strong. So, like, when I saw him getting to fight Izzy, I was like, Izzy's gonna have an issue if he gets a hold of him. And exactly when he got a hold of him, I was like, yeah, that dude has a different type of pressure. He has to.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. Adesanya was starting to do well. It looked like it was going his way the rest of the fight, and just little mistakes and little things. And Du Plessis, he's just physical, and like what they were saying, he's just a dog. And he just kept it up and got the finish.
Yeah, I was impressed, man. And I guess what everyone thinks of Dricus, right? Like, and that's what makes fighting so beautiful. It's not the ultimate pad hitting championships. It's not the ultimate, sparring championships. It's ultimate fighting, man. And like, you watch him on paper. So Dricus actually fought one of my teammates, Trevin Giles, and I thought Trevin was going to go in there and knock him out. And, Dricus ended up winning that fight, and Dricus just keeps surprising everybody, man.
Do you think he was going to win going into the fight, or did you have Adesanya?
I thought Adesanya would be too slick and pick him apart. But man, yeah, Dricus is just it's crazy to watch, dude. But I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, he's like a true tank. You know what I mean? Like that's his total style as a tank, dude. He's gonna just plow through whatever's in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he did a great job. It was a tough fight. Both guys, landed some good shots. The fight pretty much went how I thought it would go. I was, one of the few people to pick Dricus in winning that fight. But again, you get a guy that fights in circles, unless he can keep you at that distance to counter strike and land the circles. The guy that's coming straight forward the whole time and running through you is going to have a much better chance. And, people know that Dricus, he was a good kickboxer. He was a 2-division champ, and I think it was EFC. And because the way he fights doesn't look, the way that Adesanya does when you think about a kickboxer, people don't think that he's going to have the success that he's been having. And I keep saying it's about how effective you are, and he's very effective. And not only that, but even though he's a kickboxer, he's taking a lot of guys down. He's very physically big and seems to be pretty strong. And I think, coming up in a place where rugby is a really big sport, he's very used to running into people and tackling them. And, in his last few fights, he's taken some guys down that Whitaker almost never gets taken down, and he took him down, and then he took down Adesanya. And obviously, if you're that big and that strong, you get on top of somebody who's not used to being on that ground, you're gonna have a really big advantage.
You said you picked him going into the fight. Did you think he would submit him? Because that was the first submission loss for Adesanya in his career.
I figured it would probably end in a sequence on the ground. I don't know if I would have picked submission necessarily, but I thought it was one of those things where, just because of the way Dricus fights on the feet, I don't think Adesanya would have stood there enough unless he got really tired to get knocked out by something. So I figured it would be gets taken down and either there's a flurry and a TKO and Adesanya is just too tired to move, or what happened, he tries to build up to his base and he gives up his neck. So, I didn't pick submission exactly, but I figured it would be a sequence similar to what it was.
I mean, I think Dricus is a dog, and I wasn't impressed with either fighter, and no disrespect to, those guys, but there was a lot of sloppy everything in that fight, a lot of, scratching your head. And if you're a competitor at the 185-pound weight class who can wrestle and who can, strike, then you should be salivating at the mouth right now, because that title is up in the air. I don't think Du Plessis is really strong enough to hold the belt for long. And I think that it's going to be based on these matchups, how long he holds it.
I thought it was a pretty good fight. I feel like his style is very unique, and it's different, and a lot of people is not prepared for that. And he's good everywhere. And I thought it was a pretty good fight. You know, they finally got their issue off, so hopefully they both got nothing but respect towards each other. And yeah,
Did you think Dricus was going to win going into the fight?
honestly, I didn't know who was gonna win. I say both of them are pretty good, so I don't really have favorites. It's hard to just pick one or the other. You know, I like to shit. I want to see both of them win.
Yeah.
I think he had a good performance. I mean, I thought it was going to be a little closer. I didn't think he was going to get a finish, but it just shows, I think that's like that stat that when guys win the title, they just gain that confidence. So I think him winning the title, you know, gave him more confidence, especially since Strickland beat Adesanya and he beat Strickland. I think he went into that really, really confident. And I think Adesanya had a lot, not against him, but he's like, he had to reclaim his title. He had to do X, Y, and Z. He had to get back in the win column. So I think he had a lot of pressure, I want to say, on him.
I was shocked that I knew Izzy didn't have much jiu-jitsu. I didn't think that was like a thing for him. I thought maybe he'd be like an anti-wrestler. He's very good at like grabbing wrists and getting himself back up. But, oh, God, he didn't even try to get rid of the hands, man. Like, he didn't fight that at all. That was shocking to me at like a world championship level. And why is Dricus so ugly when he fights? You know, like, it's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Like, him versus Sean Strickland is the weirdest looking, most like unathletic looking fight I've ever seen. I don't know. I was just shocked by a lot of things there. Like, why does Dricus look constantly gassed? And why can't, these guys look like very, very sloppy jiu-jitsu for guys that are like at the top of their game. But that's just me. Who the fuck am I? I thought it was a good fight. I'm glad that it's over. But I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing about the Africa thing and the, this or that and the dogs. And I just want everybody shut up. Just be quiet now. So it's ended, and now we'll see what happens with Izzy. I hope he doesn't retire, but if he did, he's one of the best to ever do it. It's not even debatable at that point. So I love the fight. I thought it was a little awkward, especially like given that Dricus almost fell over on his face a couple times throwing punches, but you know what I mean? Champ's the champ.
Yeah, he's so good at winning. That dude is so good at winning. I'm a fan. I love watching him.
I think Du Plessis is like a kid trying to fight. You run and punch. It's not clear. It's not beautiful boxing, but it's work.
Were you surprised to see him win, or did you think Adesanya was going to win that fight?
Yeah, I was surprised because it's not the same level of striking, but I think the mental is very important, and I think maybe it's done for Adesanya. I don't know.